It's sickening how this administration, this SEC, and this CFTC regime are all painting crypto with broad strokes. Scammers are prevalent everywhere. Fraudsters have been around since the dawn of man, and yet for some reason, they want to paint crypto as the bad guy, when in reality, it's people that are bad, not software. The SEC's job is to protect investors, but all they've done over the past couple of years has created more hardships for small investors around the globe. Their hard stance on crypto has made a lot of innovators exit the market and has dried up liquidity around the world. But it's not all bad news today, and we'll get to that later. Over the recent months, the SEC has taken tremendous losses against lawsuits that they filed against crypto projects, proving that they've misappropriated funds of taxpayer dollars over frivolous lawsuits. There are only two outcomes that I foresee happening here. Either the majority of crypto projects move overseas, or Gary Gensler and this administration get fired over all of these senseless lawsuits. The reason that I bring this up is because one of the biggest lawsuits that was judged in the favor of the SEC has laid forgotten under a renewed cloud of hopium from the XRP and Grayscale cases. That is Library, the decentralized video streaming platform that was required to forfeit $44 million that it didn't have to the SEC. The small team at Library had to make the hard decision to close shop and undo all the progress it had made in the past 6 years. However, instead of bowing down to those mobsters at the SEC, yesterday they filed for an appeal. Now, this doesn't mean that they'll get the outcome that they're searching for, and they certainly don't have the funds required like XRP or Grayscale to fight a long legal battle. But these are definitely the steps that we must take as a community to make sure that we don't get overrun by overreaching government agencies. These are tyrants that were never elected to the offices that they sit in. As you can see, filed yesterday, September 7th, 2023, the defendant, Library Inc., now appeals to the United States Court of Appeals for the First Circuit. This court's final judgment entered on July 11th, 2023. This is great news for crypto, and I'm going to do everything in my power to help raise whatever funds are needed to make sure that they can continue fighting this legal battle as long as possible. The SEC realized that there was nothing that they could pay out even remotely close to $44 million in their settlement, so they had to go back after the fact and ask the court if they could pay a judgment of $111,000. But it didn't stop there. It also required them to stop selling what they deemed securities, the Library token, which effectively meant that their project was dead in the water. So at the time, the judgment in itself wasn't what was killing the project, it was actually the fact that they could no longer sell their tokens. And that's what they're fighting against. They want to appeal this and make sure that what they were selling was not a security at all. They view what they were selling as a commodity, and I believe the majority of people out there, besides the SEC, believe that as well. Let's take a look at what happened to the price immediately after the judgment came in. As you can see, the price dropped by almost 90% immediately after the news broke. And it slowly downtrended even further all the way up into the middle of August. But over the past couple of days, since the announcement has been made that they are appealing this court decision, the price has skyrocketed even further than it was before the judgment came in. This just goes to show what kind of impact the SEC can have on the little guys. Like I said at the start, they've done more to hurt small investors than to actually help. One of the articles was actually posted to the cryptocurrency subreddit, and one of the comments that I read really stood out and resonated to me. It says 2 things are inevitable: Gary Gensler getting fired and lawyers winning more money. If that's not more true, then I don't know what is. That is the most true statement I've seen from anybody. Gary Gensler absolutely needs to be fired. That is true. And lawyers are going to make an absolute killing out of this. And it's a shame because that money could be going towards further innovation in the cryptocurrency market, but instead we're having to pay that money out to these legal fees to fight just to keep our freedoms. That's insane to me that this is where we've gotten to in 2023. Not only are these projects paying ridiculous amounts of money for lawyer fees, I think XRP paid $200 million for their legal battle, but taxpayers are having to pay for the SEC side of this as well, which is probably close to that. It's just utter ridiculousness at this point. And then we get this article today. CFTC finds Open, 0x, and Deridex with offering illegal digital asset derivatives to US customers. But if you scroll down and actually read this article, it says, while Open had attempted to prevent U.S. residents from accessing its services through geo-blocking, the CFTC found these efforts insufficient. Okay, what do you want them to do? It's not like they can just go to people's homes and say, hey, don't do that. No. So what do you expect them to do? If they're geo-blocking, it means that they're trying to make sure that US customers can't access their website. What more do you want them to do? So you're searching for KYC, but at the same time, what good does that do if they're already geo-blocking US residents? Why does it matter where they came from if we're trying to block them? And if somebody registers as a US resident on those websites, don't you think that they would just block them from using the platform? So people would probably make fake KYC, right? None of this makes sense. And it's just another clear attack on crypto, a blind attack, blanket attack on crypto. They don't care what the ramifications are. They don't care who they hurt along the process. It's just, we hate crypto, crypto bad. And I'm getting sick of it. And I know a lot of other people out there are as well. So we need to stand up to these goons in Washington. If we don't all band together, they're just going to continue to think that these types of actions are okay. And they're not. So what I want you to do is share this video with as many people as you possibly can. I'm going to post this on my Twitter account, I am Crypto Clay. I request that you go in and repost my post on Twitter when I put this video on there. It's time that we stand up to the bullies. No longer are we going to sit in silence. Also, if you could hit that like button so the algorithm shares this video with more people, you'd be doing me a solid. That's going to be it though. Thank you so much for watching. Crypto Clay out.